There is a phrase that we can only use once a year. It comes, we're able to embrace it. It's a phrase that transcends time, emotion, worlds, feeling. It's time that I can use it again. It's fall, y'all. Yes, it is. It's fall. Y'all. Hi, guys. I'm back in my New York City apartment, and I want to just have a chill video about fall books, my fall must-reads, essentially. I made a whole video once talking about fall book recommendations, and I'm sure that can be updated at a different time, but these are the books that I would like to read during fall, books that I feel like have a particular fall presence to them, books that feel like they just might fit the bill. So, let's get started with a book that I think is a true fall fashionista. I should probably grab the books. That would be good, wouldn't it? This is a book that everybody talks about, a book that I haven't read yet, and a book that I finally got my hands on thanks to a wonderful viewer, so thank you so much for sending it to me. Stoner by John Williams. Yes, everybody talks about how amazing it is, and I'm ready to cherish that feeling. I'm ready to have intellectual conversations about studies, about teacher, about things like that, and I feel like this book will do it for me. Also, I've seen this picture, this painting in real life. It's at the Met, and maybe I will spend a day at the Met and read Stoner and be a very academic individual. This book, from my understanding, I'm not going to read verbatim from the back, but this is about a teacher, correct me if I'm wrong, a state university teacher. No, that's wrong. I think it's just about William Stoner as he navigates life and traverses through different times and grows into an adult. I will say on the back, it says, like a figure in a painting by Edward Hopper. I do love Edward Hopper. I think as far as American artists go, he's one of my favorite at portraying just the bleakness of a certain time period. And if it's like an Edward Hopper painting, I will surely enjoy this. So that's definitely one I'm gonna pick up sooner than later. I am really elated to read that and just join in on the discourse of individuals who say that it's great. So there we go. I'll be honest, I picked these books very early on the other day, and if they're great, I don't know. Let's see. This is a book that I picked up on the side of the road. I have never read it, or I think I started to read it in a AP English class when I was in high school, and I never read it. But this I picked up, and I feel like, I don't know, I love a war novel, as horrible as that sounds. I don't enjoy reading about the history of that. I think it's very insightful to read about the history of wars. And this is The Red Badge of Courage by Stephen Crane. I'm trying to implement classics with new books, and I feel like I've been doing it really well this year. This is a book that I don't know if I'm gonna love it. I don't feel that nervous to try it because it's so small. This is something, I saw it on the side of the road. Somebody was putting out a ton of books, and I decided to pick it up. This was first published in 1895. America's greatest novel of the Civil War. Was written before 21-year-old Stephen Crane had smelled even the powder of a sham battle. So he was so young when he wrote this. I think this will be a really good fall read, and I have associations with being in Gettysburg and around the areas of the Civil War battles, obviously centuries later, but as a tourist, so I feel like this will be a good companion for the fall. Very depressing, I'm sure. And what's really interesting about this is that it has somebody's British Airways tag in here. Washington to London. And the time that the person had this in, you could still get a smoking seat. What? I wonder if he was a smoker. I love that. So there's a little story with that. The next book that I want to talk about is a book that I've heard only really positive things about. I feel like this is going to be a good story, and that is something that I crave a lot in the fall. I crave just getting chummy with the characters. I crave just absolutely becoming immersed in with the world of these characters, whether or not they're good people, bad people. I just want to be palling around with them mentally. The book that I feel like might do that for me is Light Years by James Salter. This is a novel of a marriage. Light Years is a classic novel of an entire generation that discovers the limits of its own happiness and then felt compelled to destroy it. I've only heard really positive things about this, and what I've heard most about this is that the writing is so profound and beautiful. Oh, somebody bought this. I bought this for $1, not somebody. I hate myself for being so frugal and fabulous. So I bought this for $1 in one of the bookstores that I did my bookstore tour of New York City in, Bookseller in Upper Manhattan. And apparently people have been checking out that bookstore because of that video, and I'm really just flattered that people took the time to watch it and actually add that to their itinerary of bookstores to see. It's a fabulous bookstore and I highly suggest it. But this, I don't know, I feel like I'm hoping that this centers around maybe like a middle-aged couple. I feel like I've been resonating with that a lot, even though that is the complete antithesis of what I am. I am just a young 9-year-old still. No, I'm kidding. I'm an adult. I'm really craving reading about middle-aged couples. I don't know why. It's fall, y'all, and that makes us do things we can't explain. After that, I want to briefly talk about audiobooks because I am definitely back into reading audiobooks. I am puzzling a lot. I got a new puzzle. I can't wait to do it. Fall is the time for the zulls. I'm zulling it up in here. I listen to a lot of audiobooks when I do my puzzles, and one of them I want to read is Wave, and that is about the 2011 tsunami that hit the Indian Ocean. About once a year, I go through and I watch videos and documentaries about tsunamis. It's my worst fear, truly my worst fear. I have had multiple hundreds probably dreams, nightmares about tsunamis. To think that they actually happen and people have survived them and people have also perished because of them is totally petrifying to me. So anyway, I want to listen to a book about it, first-hand account. That book I'm hoping comes off my wait list for my Libby app. I also want to read the book, and I'm forgetting the name of it. You know what? I'm not going to mess up my recording because I don't want to do that. This is One Woman's Hunt for the Golden Gate Killer by McNamara is her last name, I believe. I love listening to crime stuff around this time of year. I think it's a really easy to digest and fascinating way to tell a story if you can really get the audience captivated with telling about true crime. Obviously, it's very morose, it's very sad, but I think that, I don't know, we all have like a little investigative bone in us, and I think that this will be a perfect book to listen to while zulling. Okay, puzzling. This author, I believe, also passed away. I will correct myself if wrong, but the Golden State Killer has been identified, so her life's work was achieved. I'm interested to read that. And to piggyback off of that, I have Trailed, One Woman's Quest to Solve the Shenandoah Murders. I have been wanting to read this for almost 2 years now. I love myself. I've been in Shenandoah National Park. I love Shenandoah National Park. We actually befriended a ranger, Ranger Chris. If you're watching, I hope you're doing well, Ranger Chris. He told us a lot of stories, a lot of background stories of being a park ranger, things that I was so greedy and wanting to know, and he divulged, so I appreciate that. This is about 2 women who passed away, who were murdered. Sorry, not just passed away, they were murdered in Shenandoah. I think it is still a cold case, unsolved, and I imagine that this is going to go deep into what happened and what they imagine happened to the girls. So, excited to read that. And now I'm going to make a stunning announcement, and I hope that you're ready for it. I'm going to be announcing my November Patreon book club pick. If you don't know, I have a Patreon book club. We have tantalizing reads. We read Henry and June, which was sexy. Anyway, I'm going to talk about which book I want to read for November, and this is a book that I picked up because I had seen William Styron mention it in his diaries. Styron and this author were very close friends, actually, revered each other's works and often read each other's works to kind of proofread it and see what was good for them, their audiences, and Starren was talking about proofreading this book, and I was so excited to get my hands on it because I feel like there's so many other books by this author. I personally haven't read anything by this author yet, and I feel like I would like to read the best known novels, but I'd also like to read something that I don't personally see many people talk about, and why not read it with a group of individuals? And that is The Fire Next Time by James Baldwin. It's a little baby as well. I'm really not trying to go crazy on my fall reads. I just want to have a very realistic look into fall reads, and honestly, I feel like reading a smaller book makes me feel fine. I feel good about that. This was a national bestseller when it first appeared in 1963, galvanized the nation and gave passionate voice to the emerging civil rights movement. Nice. I can't wait to read this, and I'm excited to finally read some Baldwin. So that's the book that I'm going to read for my book club pick for November. I figure if I'm going to talk about the books that I want to read, I might as well talk about the book that I'm really going to be focusing on, you know. And the next books that I want to talk about, these were sent to me by an amazing publishing house, and I think it's so unique what they're doing that I just have to talk about it because I think I'm going to be able to read a couple of these books, hopefully, in the fall weather, and I feel like they're so cute. Look at these! Ah! I love them. I love them, and I want to adopt all of them. How cute! Oh my gosh, how cute! Look at that. Hello. So these are put out by Isolari Books. I hope that I'm pronouncing that correctly. It is a subscription-based publishing house. They send books every 2 months, I believe. They're focusing on books that aren't often published, I would say, kind of more of maybe niche books. They're focusing on authors, interesting ways of formatting a novel that I'm so in love with. And they took the time to find this book for me, In the Face of War. It was their last one that they had, and they found it and they sent it to me, so I'm really touched. The ones that I have are In the Face of War, Under the Wings of the Valkyrie, Street Cop, Cooking Sections, Solomon, A Red Herring, Archipelago, Hans Ulrich Oblast, I think so, Evergaia, and this one is, this is by Scholastic Mukasanga. I didn't realize that. Oh my goodness, I mean, if you don't know, I love Scholastic Mukasanga. She wrote Cockroaches, which is one of the best books I've ever read. You can see who she is right here. Oh my goodness, I saw that they had her on their website, but I didn't realize that they had sent me the book. Wow, I'm so excited to read that. That's a book of my own by Scholastic Mukasanga. So that will absolutely be read. These books I think are just so adorable, and I think it's a really fun way to just constantly have a book on you. I'm not sponsored by them. I'm just really intrigued and moved by their passion to have little books. So definitely check them out. I'll link them down in the bio. Always looking to kind of promote businesses that I think are great. So there you go. Anyway, I think that this is a pretty realistic look into what I'm going to be reading. I don't think it's too boisterous. I don't think that it's too ambitious. I just want to have a very realistic look into what I'm interested in right now. Hopefully I read more, but these I think are books that are going to have a really nice allegiance to fall time. At least for me. I know different hemispheres are experiencing different weather right now, but for me, I think that this is a perfect way to think and look about fall. A perfect way to look and feel about fall. I'm also getting back into the filming sphere, if you couldn't already tell, so bear with me. Anyway, let me know what books that you want to read for fall. Let me know if you have read these books, if they are fall books, if I'm just creating something out of thin air and they really aren't fall books. Let me know. Anyway, you guys are wonderful. You're fabulous. Thank you so much for being here. I will see you in the next one.